new research on antidepressant medications and their side effects. A study from the Lancet found that while antidepressants remain highly effective, physical side effects like changes in weight, high blood pressure, and heart rate can vary significantly depending on the medication prescribed. To break this down, we are joined by Dr. Sue Varma, a board-certified psychiatrist and the author of the wonderful book, Practical Optimism. Dr. Varma, thank you so much for joining us. So what are your biggest takeaways from this study?
I think it's so important that we realize that antidepressant medication should be given proper consideration when you're doing an evaluation with a patient. A lot of times I see that these very important medications are prescribed by non-behavioral health specialists, so your primary care doctor or your cardiologist. And they are doing a lot of things with you in those sessions, talking about blood pressure and cholesterol and diabetes, and they may not have the time to do a thorough assessment to see, do you even need these medications? What would be the right dose? How do we titrate you to the right dose? What are the side effects? What are the risks? What are the benefits? What are the alternatives? How are these medications going to impact elevations in cholesterol, in glucose, in heart rate, in blood pressure? We do know that these medications are life-saving and life-changing, but they can have variation from person to person depending on a person's metabolism, their age, what other medications they're on, and if they have underlying illnesses such as diabetes and cholesterol. But the key thing for me is that it is so important that we recognize that untreated depression itself causes a lot of these illnesses. So we have to weigh the risks and the benefits, and let's not cause panic. But these medications do have really important side effects that can exacerbate a person's underlying illness if we don't see it.
Dr. Varma, what do we know about how the different medications will affect different people? I mean, can people predict with any kind of accuracy if they're in category A, how they're going to have side effects?
Well, it's hard to know, but one thing we can say is what this study found is that we can see variations in weight of up to 10 pounds between patients, depending on the medication, depending on the receptor profile. We can have heart rate changes of up to 20 pounds, and we can see blood pressure changes of about 10 points. So if a person has underlying elevated cholesterol, elevated blood glucose, or they're not being managed, the primary care doctor said, listen, I know that this antidepressant might potentially exacerbate these things. Let's watch it and monitor it carefully. Let me have you come back into my office in 3 months. Let's make sure that we have a broad array of lifestyle interventions. And that is so important to me because anytime I make a decision, which is very thoughtful, deliberately, intentionally decided with a patient about starting antidepressants, I also say, are you in talk therapy, either with me or with somebody else? Have you gotten all your lab work checked at baseline? And can we check that every few months, whether it's with me or with another doctor? Are you doing walking, meditation, exercise, movement? I call them the 4 M's of mental health. So it's really important that you have medication is just one part of a much larger conversation.
Dr. Sue Varma, thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.